Good morning. I want to start by saying thank you to my 3 subscribers. I don't know who you guys are, but I do appreciate you tuning in. This is Art Ups, and I picked this up. I think it's this is number 3. Mike Allred, I'm a big fan of. I keep wanting to like whatever he's working on, but sometimes the story just doesn't hook me in. Silver Surfer's been that way too. I really like Mike Allred, and I'll dip in and out, but I can't recommend this. The story is just not quite there for me. And just so you know, this is going to be sort of some recent stuff that I've been reading. Some of it will be recent, some of it won't be. This is from February 2016. Some stuff will be old. Most of it is new stuff I'm reading, but I just figured I'd put together a video of recent reads and my opinion about stuff. I'm digging this. I really am. For whatever reason, John Romita Jr.'s art is just, I'm really appreciating it, and the story it's moving along quite quickly. A lot of action in this. I would definitely recommend All-Star Batman right now. Not too happy about the $5 price point though, but what are you gonna do? I was enjoying this arc with Gotham and Gotham Girl. I want it to go longer, to be honest. I like Batman right now. I think it's being written very well, and I'm going to continue reading this for sure. But I don't know. I kind of hope that they would have moved this story along further. It was great. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's some great moments in issue 6 here. So I finally dipped into Big Man Plans, and it was really good. What a solid story. I mean, it's pretty simple. This guy is not happy, gets violent, has a pretty rough life, but really good writing. I recommend this. I'll read more of this. And this is stuff, I found this on the Dollar Bin, so I figured I'd give it a shot. The only cool thing I'm going to say about this one, this is from November 2015, is there's a price guide in the back of this that's pretty useful. I mean, it's got a lot of modern stuff in it. The price guides that I use tend to be 2 and 3 years old, just because I buy them. I don't buy them new. I buy them used. But yeah, Bleeding Cool. If you see these in dollar bins, I suggest picking them up. This interview with Warren Ellis is pretty good too. I keep wanting to like Cerebus, and I just don't. I find some of the stories to be kind of slapsticky. This is kind of cool because it's sort of 3 different points in the lifeline of Cerebus. I'll pick up more because so many people love this aardvark, including comic creators. But something about the story, just the dialogue, just doesn't jive for me. I love the art. The background is incredible, but yeah, I'm going to keep trying. This is issue 12 of Badlands. This Badlands arc is good. I keep flip-flopping back and forth with Crossed. Sometimes I love it, sometimes the story drives me crazy, but this Badlands arc is consistently good. I always pick them. When I see these in the dollar bins, I always pick them up. I do try to get the wrap covers. There's the torture cover. But I love the fact that they have so many wrap covers that goes, front and back, and you open it up. So this is a wrap cover. But I'm lazy, so I'm not going to open up. But I assure you, it's awesome. And look at this cover. This is 96. But you got a lot of great stuff going on here. I hope you guys can see the detail on that. It just takes the zombie genre and just, cranks it up to 11, in my opinion. I love these Millennium editions. This is probably as close as I'm going to come to owning Flash number 1. Even in poor condition, this comic can go for $5,000, and on the high end, it can go for 450,000, so somewhere between 5,000 and 500,000 for that comic book. That being said, these Millennium editions, I got that for $5. Really awesome. The colors are a little bit saturated just because they're bright, but you get to read the original stories and then everything else that appeared in that book. Like the Hawkman story that's in this Flash #1 is really good. They say stuff like "good gravy," and it's extreme. I mean, this is from 1940. This was published in January 1940. These Millennium ones came out in 2001, I believe. And yeah, I like them. I got a couple other ones too. I got Detective 27 and some other ones I haven't read yet, but when I do, I'll definitely throw them on here. This Johnny Thunder story is pretty ridiculous too. I'm a sucker for Indiana Jones. I freely admit it. This was pretty good, I gotta say. The coolest thing about this is it's not based on one of the movies, so I didn't know the story ahead of time. If I do see more of these in the dollar bins, I will get it. This was Fate of Atlantis. This is sort of unrelated, but I'm also a big fan of the Indiana Jones pinball machine. This was good. I was kind of bummed to see, spoiler alert, this came out a while ago. I was kind of bummed to see sort of the original Lobo killed off at the beginning of this, but this comic is certainly in the Lobo vein, if that makes sense. I recommend it. Okay. This is Paybacks is by far the best thing I think I'm reading right now, aside from Low and Elephant Men. This came out of nowhere. The only reason I found out about this is because I think I saw an ad in Heavy Metal. Heavy Metal is publishing the second issue of this, but it's awesome. Paybacks is it's not a comic, I think, for people who are just getting into comics, but if you've been into comics for a while, you will get a lot of the references and the hidden jokes in here. This is really a comic for comic people. It's funny. It reminds me a little bit of Authority, but much funnier and smarter. Pick this up. I can't recommend it enough. And the art is really good too. Not as good as Tokyo Ghost, but it's nice. The art is nice. So I don't understand if this is like, I think this is published by Heavy Metal, and I don't know if this is one of the first comics that they are publishing now that Grant Morrison's at the helm, but this comic right here, get it. And if it is one of the first ones that Heavy Metal has published, then you can expect this one to certainly go up in value later. Heavy Metal, I think, is going to be around for quite some time. And look at that cover, too. It's a great cover. This is the third Paybacks. And there is a fourth one, but I haven't read it yet. I will. Okay, so I read the trades for Saga. Loved them. I mean, what's not to like about that story? And I just sort of fell off. My friend was loaning me the trades, and so I pretty much only buy comics. I decided to give this a go. I was seeing these sort of in the dollar bins, and I was like, I wonder what's happening right now in the story. So I dipped back in, and I'm glad I did. These stories are so good, even as standalones. I mean, if you're sort of familiar with the characters in the story, you can jump back in. So I'm loving it. I'm gonna keep getting these, and it's frustrating, I guess, to read out of order. But I'd rather own the comics than the trades. That's just me. Yeah, I picked up 7. I've read most of these. And I know how the story ends. The art in this, Esad Ribic, however you pronounce his name, is so amazing. So incredible. It kind of reminds me of like if Alex Ross was doing pencils. That's the quality of his artwork. Pretty sure this is Alex Ross on the cover. but this guy, Assad Ribic, this whole Secret Wars arc was fantastic. It was really good. Reminded me of Justice, which Alex Ross did the pencils for. If you liked this was kind of recent. If you like this, see if you can get your hands on Justice. Alex Ross did covers, pencils. I think he wrote it too. That's DC, but it's really good. Pick this up for $5. First appearance of Angela. It's good. Tom McFarlane's a man. I mean, I don't know. I can only say that so many times. This was fun. I was hesitant to buy this. I certainly didn't pay cover price for this, only because it's rehash of so many Spidey stories I've already read, but it's fun. I bought this for $1, and if I saw more of them, I'd probably still buy them for $1, but I certainly wouldn't pay cover price for this. This would be a great intro for someone who is just getting into comics, these Spideys. You don't have to know much about the characters. It explains stuff very easily. What to say about The Violent? It's a decent story. The coolest thing by far about The Violent is this guy, Ed Brisson. In the back of The Violent, of all the comics so far, there's a little page that says if you send him a postcard I think he's in British Columbia or Canada somewhere, Vancouver maybe, he will send you a postcard back. So I did it a while ago thinking that he probably wouldn't. He did. Not only did he send me a postcard back, but he clearly read and thought about some of the stuff I said, and that's it. So I'll be a fan of this guy probably forever now. The story's decent. If you like very real violent stories, pseudo-realistic, this would be one to pick up. It's pretty dark. I don't know. I want to really be enjoying the Uncanny X-Men. I know that so much great stuff has come of it, but shout out to Sandman Logan 5, who recently talked about where Marvel is at, sort of, and what they're doing right and not doing right, and I gotta agree with him wholeheartedly. I think Marvel means well. I mean, the art in here is phenomenal, but the overall story is just, the most recent one is, I read that, I read this, and then this is the most recent one. So I bought this for cover price, thinking like, all right, let me get back in. And the story is just, it's pseudo-sexual. There's a lot of stuff in the Hellfire Club, but there just doesn't seem to be that much substance to it. And I don't know, I feel like that's kind of a microcosm of where Marvel is at. They really, in terms of quality, I feel like are not at the level of DC, certainly not the level of Image, and they really need to get their stuff together. Their movies, cool. Like, you guys are doing a good job with your movies. But in terms of comics, I think right now DC is killing them. And I'm not loyal one way or another. I mean, I used to say make mine Marvel, but DC is awesome. And it's all the same stuff. But right now, I feel like with what's going on, I think Marvel really needs to, I don't know, pay some people some more money or do something in terms of content. It's not enough to sort of just reinvent characters and make, a male character like black and female and, or Asian. It's not enough. So, I love you, Marvel. I hope you do a better job in the future, because otherwise I'm going to be spending all my money on DC and Image. That's it. I do really appreciate you guys watching. Read some comics today.